you don't know until you try. So this would be lethal though if we can hit it, right? That'd be 10 to the face. I'm skeptical, but it happened, so I'm happy. They gotta have counter magic here. No way we just fluidly get to... Ooh. I have to sacrifice it first? Ooh. You know, that puts a little bit of a different question on it. I'm fine with just taking the 10 damage, honestly. They have cards out the wazoo over here, foretold. You know what? Screw it. I came to see Double Fury action. That's what we're going to do. Whether they counter it or not, we did it. What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be diving into an Unleash Golden Fury. Yeah, we're going to be diving into a Double Fury deck. We've seen these English is hard for me sometimes. We've seen this combo before, or I'm sure y'all have seen this combo before. Unleash Fury, double the power of target creature until end of turn. Onto a Bone Crusher, onto a Love Struck. You know, you're up to around 8 to 10 damage, which is fantastic. You're swinging in with this, you're feeling great. And the opponent's feeling like they can live through it. And then, of course, you follow that up with a Kazul's Fury, 3 mana, sacrifice creature, and then deal that creature's power to any target. So you sacrifice your Love Struck, your Bone Crusher, and you fling it at your opponent's face. Why does this matter? Well, this deck recently came in first in a tournament, the Strixhaven Qualifier Championship, something. It came in first in some kind of something. So I figured it would be a fun deck to play. I haven't actually showcased it here on the channel, and y'all know I'm a huge fan of combo decks, and especially combo decks of the flinging variety. Granted, we don't play fling in this deck, which is a little sad to see, but I also didn't want to lead people astray and say, hey, you should play this, when in reality you shouldn't. Also, I am missing a singular gold span in one of the lands, but you know, whatever. You play as much as what you got of the deck. So I won't be too detailed in the breakdown of it. Colossus is a card that I added in to replace the gold span, as I think it's really good. If you're playing in a best of one setting, it's a good sort of catch-all. Helps you to put a turn timer on your opponent, gains you life, gains you mana, it's indestructible, blah 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 blah. Anyways, aside from that, we do have the Edgewall Innkeeper and classic adventure card set, so to speak. You know, giant killer to help you take out the big stuff and tap the other big stuff. You got Shepherd to help protect your stuff or to bounce your stuff in order to avoid board wipes, which is really nice. You got Bone Crusher to deal additional damage, removal, Love Struck, big stuff. Showdown, which I'm kind of surprised because this card, again, it popped up. Well, I'm surprised that I'm not, right? It's popped up in the beginning. We had this huge spike of everybody trying to throw Showdown in every deck. I'm sure there was somebody who tried to put this in their Dimir deck unsuccessfully. Anyways, it's back. It's good. It's clean. I don't know if it was ever really doubted that it was good and clean, but you know, here it is. So fun card, at least in my opinion. And then of course we have the big old gold span dragon, because those artifact tokens, they're so good, and being able to gain 2 mana instead of 1. One thing I will say that I'm a little surprised at by this deck is we don't see a Great Hinge, but I think that's for efficiency's sake. I think this deck is the kind of deck that's just worried about dropping your opponent from 20 to 0, right? That's why we have the gold span. It has flying, it has haste. It's really good at picking up the Embercleave, right? If you already have creature swing in, you swing in with this. Embercleave can only cost 2, and of course you get to create a treasure token whenever this thing attacks. So essentially you could have this and Embercleave come down within the same turn, even though you're completely tapped out on mana, which is really cool. Anyways, I'm not going to dive into all this too much, even though I just sort of did. It does have a sideboard available with it, as it was a best of 3 event. Y'all know I'm a best of 1 player, so if you want to, you can adjust the lands a little bit, as of course best of 1 does give us a lot of lands. Y'all know I'm a huge testament to that. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Again, not going to bore you with the details, as you all probably know them already. We're just going to dive right into the matches. Alrighty, Kappa gonna be our first foe for the day. What an excellent name, given we're coming up on April Fool's Day. We'll keep this hand. I don't see any adventure cards, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't like, but we might can get there. So let's just go ahead and drop the Branch Loft, and we'll live hoping. Y'all know that's how I like to play, anyways. So I'm hoping we can see some of this Double Fury action. Y'all know I'm one for big combos, so if a big combo can actually work and exist, within the realm of meta, then I kind of like it. I don't like it when it happens to me, but you know, nobody ever does, so you get over it. Oh, it's Ondu. I was wondering, I was like, man, that land looks really cool. It's Ondu inversion. That's you don't ever see that as a land. You hardly see it played, honestly. I feel like Kappa's playing a pretty Kappa deck though, right? Ondu inversion, and then it's like a Azorius indestructible deck. It's what it's looking like. It's what it's feeling like. Now I can tap the Season Hollow Blade. I don't know what good that would do us. Let's just get down another giant killer, I think. Of course, what if they immediately buff up the season? We still can't kill it, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just draw a card. I thought about going for Clothius, but we don't have any cards in any graveyards anywhere, so we'll hold off on that one. And there's not really a reason to attack here. We do have 2 giant killers, so if they swing in, we could potentially trade one out as, well, you know, we got 2. You don't need 2. We don't even have enough mana to support 2, so do little trades, block, chum, whatever you want to call it. Oh, anywho, sorry about yesterday. Last night, power went out, so you know, it's been an eventful several days. There's the Shadow Spear. Of course, if they equip it to season, then we just tap them. I wonder why they're choosing not to equip it. They must have counter spell of some sorts. Now, we have Showdown, but if they're showing like obvious negate mana. Now, they don't look like the kind of deck that plays negate, I'm not gonna lie. They do not. I'm gonna grab an extra red here. 1, it benefits us here, and 2, it benefits us with the Bone Crusher if we do happen to draw into that. Of course, double green is Love Struck. Also, I lied. We're going for the Showdown. What else are we gonna do? Drop Clothius? Yeah, right. It's a disruption. That makes more sense. So on one side, ow. On the other side, I mean, we got rid of a land. It's alright. We got another one for next turn. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad they didn't counter my Clothius. Alright, so are you equipping Shadow Spear this time? No, just foretelling. So that's going to be saw it coming then, right? Gotta be. Absolutely got to be. So I can't play this because they will counter that. If I play this, we don't really have anything. I could play the 1-mana version of Love Struck Beast, but honestly, I'd rather play the 5. I might have to play that Fury down as a land and just give up on that Dream for a little bit because we don't have any creature worth furying anyways as of right now. Yeah. All right. Let's just cast a Love Struck. This way, it's not too big of a loss if they have the counter magic, and we still get the card draw. So, hey, a land, hallelujah. And they did not rebuttal us there, which is good. Good for us. I'm grabbing white mana so I can actually use my giant killers. So we do have 5 mana. I can unleash Fury onto the Love Struck, which will double its power to 10. Still not enough, but you know, it's a nice little mile marker. The halfway point, so to speak, right? Alright, 5 mana means we can also use Clothius or Clothius, however you want to pronounce that. And unleash Fury, or have mana for giant killers. That's not a bad idea. But the thing that gets me is they feel very controlling with their deck, or at least they're playing it very controllingly. But they have these aggro cards, right? This Season Hollow Blade, Shadow Spear. Of course, no one says that it has to be aggro. Who says it can't just be a really good defender? Let's just tap their Season Hollow Blade so we can potentially get in there for some good damage. Hey, there's some green mana. I've been looking for that for a little minute now. Sorry, I gotta turn down the music in my headphones. It's like Some songs are just overpowering, and I'm sure y'all know that more so than me. But I'll also compress stuff. I'm gonna leave both these back, I think. Well, this puts them down to 13. This would put them down to 11. Shitty thing about 11 is it's one off from the 10 that we had mentioned earlier. Of course, if I go ahead and unleash Fury on the Lovestruck Beast, you don't know until you try. So this would be lethal though if we can hit it, right? That'd be 10 to the face. I'm skeptical, but it happened, so I'm happy. They gotta have counter magic here. No way we just fluidly get to... Ooh. I have to sacrifice it first? Ooh. You know, that puts a little bit of a different question on it. I'm fine with just taking the 10 damage, honestly. They have cards out the wazoo over here, foretold. You know what? Screw it. I came to see Double Fury action. That's what we're going to do. Whether they counter it or not, we did it. Come on, Kappa. Show me no count. Damn it. That wasn't even a foretold card. That one came straight from the hand. Alright, cool beans. I expected nothing less than that. Now, what I'm a little afraid of here is a big old board wipe. You know... Don't do it, Kappa. Don't do it. How much does it cost? 3 mana? Realistically, they probably have the Doom Scar. And they're just deciding on which card to discard, right? Because they only have 2 cards. And this strange control tempo... I don't know exactly what they're going for. It feels like they were going for tempo. But it feels a little too slow for tempo. It feels like it's just straight up control. So, this is interesting. This is very interesting. So they definitely still have counter magic, which means if I go for you, I definitely can't play you. If I go for you, I definitely can't play you. But if I do either, I can still use the Giant Killer. So I guess it doesn't really matter in the long run. Does not really matter. Another counter. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that they had 3 counter spells? Not me. Not I. Alright, well, back to their turn. We can use Giant Killers. We can tap one of their creatures out. For anyone wondering why I'm not playing Clothius, I really want to make sure she hits. It's going to be extremely hard for them to remove her, I think. Now, granted, they can remove her indestructibility with the Shadow Spear, which is, you know, a really nice feature. But it would cost them mana. It would cost them a lot of sinkage. We are going to tap that Seasoned Hollowblade. I think they realize that they are now out of counter spells, or at least getting to that point. They're getting low on life, and, well, they know that we're the kind of people that play Fury, so... I think they are getting a little desperate, as it were. Which means as long as I can keep mana for my Giant Killers available, we should have this game. So I don't want to play you, because you don't leave enough. You don't leave enough for Unleash Fury, but I gotta get you down sometime. And you know, Clothius, the nice thing is, it's a timer. 2 damage every turn, and they only have 8 life. That's, you know, that's a 4-turn timer. Oh, snap. They don't counter it. Well, that's a mistake if you could have, but hallelujah if you couldn't have. Alright, so again, we're going to pass it back to him. The only thing that I'm concerned with right now is making sure that that Seasoned Hollowblade, or whatever the hell has that Shadow Spear, does not get to attack me. And then we'll just make sure Clothius lives to the best of our ability. And by that, I mean, again, crossing our fingers and hoping, because, well, we're not a counter kind of deck. Sorry about the screeching. It's the boom arm, or whatever the heck that thing's called for the microphone. Alrighty, Kappa. I can't tell if you just went AFK or you're capping. Kappa doesn't have an ing to it ever, does it? Alright, so they're sacrificing this English. There's Silver Smoke Ghoul for a little extra card draw. Of course, if they gain, what is it, 3 life, they can get it back. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 more life, return. Okay, well, at least it does come in tapped, so even if they do manage to gain the 3 life, it'll come back tapped. If they don't get it back, we can always exile it. Alright, well, let's tap the season. Obviously, this returns them a creature. Even if they want to give it indestructible, they have to tap it. So you can't really do one without the other, right? Alright, so Doomscar. Yeah. Yes. As soon as I saw the planes tap over, I was like, well, I know what this one is. Unfortunately, Shelter doesn't actually do what we want it to in this scenario. So let's just exile the Ghoul. And they're down to 6. Woohoo! I mean, we don't really have an option outside of casting Showdown, so we're just going to cast a Showdown and hope and pray. Realistically, I should not have... well, thanks for that one. Realistically, I should not have tapped my green, both my green mana for that. The game did it because of this, but we know. We should have left some green mana up. Love Strux and the Innkeepers, that would have been nice to have, and that's a lot more prevalent down there in the 1 and 2 mana drop slot. Anyways, opponent is on 6 life, so like I said before, the timer's it's a ticking. It is a ticking. Pilfering Hawk. And then equip Shadow Spear so they can immediately start gaining life, right? You better equip... Well, maybe they want to equip it next turn. I don't know. So yeah, we just keep exiling their stuff, dealing damage. No biggie. No biggie. Let's get down the Edgewall Innkeeper. I know it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but trust me, this card is beautiful. It's going to do so much for us. Of course, it can't defend against the Hawk, but... You know, we could potentially unleash the Fury and then fling it. It would be the tiniest fling ever, but you know, who's to say a Pepple can't take down Goliath? All right, we got the Shelter, which I'm kind of happy about, but also they seem like the kind of person that only plays board wipe, which could be good or could be bad for us, right? Because again, we can't get to that Hawk, so if they want to board wipe it for us, well, sure, cool beans. I doubt it. They're probably going to equip Shadow Spear here, gain 3 life. Thankfully, we already exiled the Ghoul, so we don't have to worry about that thing. But it would put them back to 7, and of course our turn timer is getting, well, turned back a few. Anyways, they drew the planes for the birth. That 0/4 wall, a little annoying, not the end of the world. So here goes the Shadow Spear. And did they gain 3 life, or is it just 2 life? Just 2. Shadow Spear only adds 1. Interesting. Too bad this says target creature you control. Well, also this isn't colored, so there's a lot of things wrong with what my idea of what I was about to say there. So you know what? It doesn't matter. They're back to 6. That's fine. That's fine. There's a Fury. Well, hold up now. Can we do this? Is this going to be allowed? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Damn. We are going to be short, which I don't like. Alright, well, let's go for it either which way. What I said could happen has happened. We drew the Fury. Now I just got to see if we can make it stick. So Edgewall Innkeeper up to a 2/1 and swinging and a flinging. Swinging and flinging. Let's see if they have any counter magic. They've had it all game. And, I mean, you know, that's not going to change now. It's not going to. Nope. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. 5. Forgot about that one. Not going to lie, it's been a fun one, Kappa. It's been a whole hoot and a fucking half. One of these days, we'll get to throw something at their face hole. Now, the nice thing is they're not actually gaining life because we do have Clothia still continuously taking them down. The bad thing is I only know how to draw things that I apparently can't play. Oh, man, this is actually what I imagine hell to be a lot like. And, I mean, there's even fire all around us. Look at this board. I mean, come on. This has got to be hell. The only reason I don't give up and quit is because I know, that's just a quitter mentality. No, you can't lose to Kappa, actually. Can't lose to someone that's countered you 5 to 6 times within the first 5 to 6 turns. You know, it just feels like a huge kick in the face. So they're back to 6. Clothia is going to put them back to 4, and, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we top deck something. We did top deck something. That is a card. It is a creature. Doesn't necessarily get through anything. And we don't have anything that we can bounce back into our hands for the sake of being awesome. So let's just put it on the battlefield and, go back to that hoping thing. That's how that works. Now, we do have Sajiri Shelter. If our opponent does happen to somewhere in their 60-card deck play a targeted removal, we'll be all right. I doubt it. They're probably just going for that Midnight Clock proc and get all their cards back before Clothius has time to exile all of them. Of course, y'all know I'm going for these Saw It Comings next. I've been trying to get rid of all their counter magic. I just don't like that stuff. Just do not like it. There's a Seasoned Hollow Blade. Basically the invincible version of our Shepherd. They're going to go back to 6. We're going to stay at 24, and the circle of life shall continue. Alright. That thing's going to be... Oh my goodness. I need to stop drawing lands at this point and start drawing anything else in the entire fucking world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Sad when they've drawn almost as many counter spells as I have lands. Almost. End the turn. Not gonna lie, I don't think we're winning this one. We'll give it one more turnaround, but we haven't drawn the most power, and all the power that we did draw got countered from these lovely cards over here, which of course is just Motion of the Ocean. But yeah, GG Kappa, you got it. The nice thought about all of this, we can rest easy knowing that Sultai will shit on this guy. Steinmetz. Steinmetz. I hope I'm saying that right. You know, I love this hand actually. That I cut this side off. I love this hand. But we don't have any green mana. Like absolutely none. So if you keep that, you're going on sheer good faith alone, and I don't have good faith in Magic anymore. I'm sorry. That shit got tossed out the window once you start drawing 50% land draw in a game where you know you don't have it. You just don't have it. Alright. I don't see any cards that require green mana. I know. But I still think it's probably the most important mana that we have. Turn 1 Ruin Crab? Well, that's a great way to brighten up my day. That is fantastic. You know what I love about Ruin Crab? The fact that it's just big enough for Bone Crusher not to squash it. And you know when the design team was thinking about that. Holy shit. Alright. Bring on the mill. Let's do it. You got crabs? That's alright, Steinmetz. It makes so much more sense now as to why this happens. These people are just angry. Alright. Is it classic Dimir? Is that what we're gonna see? The Dimir smear? Indeed. Cool beans. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, if they get 2 barreled in, and I'm also not gonna look at my graveyard because you all know how angry that makes me when I'm playing against a mill person. I'm like, oh, I could have had that, but you know. So I'm not gonna look at the graveyard. I'm just gonna let whatever happens, let it ride, right? I I guess we'll just go for the Unleash Fury play. We don't really have a better one than that. You know, turn to Ruin Crab. It's a it's a thing. It's a thing that happens, and well, we all know the result of it. We just cross our fingers and hope. Steinmetz, you're a stand-up guy though. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Playing this, even though it is well past its due here in this game. Really awesome. Do they have the counter magic? I mean, probably. No counter magic there. Alright, well, let's see if Bone Crusher can get in. Maybe. Maybe, oh maybe. Thieves Guild. Yeah. Thieves Guild, blocks Bone Crusher. That's good. It's getting a little worried there. Alright, now the real bad thing is they're not even the lowest version of this deck. Or I mean, on the surface they're not. I guess they could be playing Lourdes somewhere within their deck, but I think we give it one card draw here. It's a land. Well, it was fun. Don't let me tell you it wasn't a good game, because that was a good game. That was a fun one.